Oh yes, good day YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to the Doe's video on YouTube. I haven't got that much memory so far. To be honest, I've only got 46 minutes remaining on my tablet, but I'm going to keep this one very short, just because I want to have my tablet memory very concise. And on the backyard, apart from seeing so many, oh my god, there's a lot of like midges or gnats outside. Oh my god, look at them all flying randomly. You see a lot of these critters, they're just straight flying randomly. I wonder what these bugs are up to. Noticing that we're just coming out from the warm spell of this April. Apart from seeing so much in the way of insects and stuff, somehow it's amazing that I can't believe, wow, it feels like that today has been very hazy and absolutely sunny as hell. Or heaven if you put up this way. But I might show you some gardening updates along the way here. I've actually done a whole bunch of trimming and stuff. And the reason why I've done a whole bunch of trimming is because guess what? Well, apart from, somehow it's quite amazing. I've actually done a lot of watering, a lot of flower watering somehow. I've done a whole bunch of seed sowing so far. I've done what I could have done is basically raked the seeds somehow just to make them a bit more even. I think that would have been honestly a little bit better, but I've chose not to do some raking because it would have actually helped to spread the seeds a bit, but I've decided against it just because I want to somehow see how this meadow works. I want to give it like an instant meadow. I could have just raked the seeds just a bit, but somehow, hey, I just hope everything grows beyond this meadow, which will come up blossoming during summertime. That plant is still there. There's all sorts of things along the way here, and all sorts of things are just straightforward growing. I've got some seeds that have somehow been germinated. Somehow I did scatter around, and somehow if I just have a look at what I've just planted, I've just somehow planted random amounts of seeds that I've actually have highly suspected, hey, once they grow a bit bigger and a bit taller, I might as well just start thinking about, germinating. That's just somehow fairly fantastic, if you ask me. Since I've just sown these outdoors, man, that's actually amazing. These two there, they've actually got tomato plants. This one here is tomato. That one there is also tomato. But this one right here, I've actually been starting to plant some peppers, which is actually quite interesting. And that one there, I've actually started to plant some nasturtiums, which is actually quite amazing. Sown some nasturtium flowers. And if I go to the very straightforward other side of the garden here, that there is where I've been straightforward sowing all of my meadow flowers, whatever I'm going to call it. And of course, apart from here, I've also been sowing not sowing. I've actually been watering down some of the cornflowers that I've just planted for this year's summer. And I'm sort of thinking, hey, I might as well just think about mowing the lawn from sometime, this month. Because obviously, apart from the fact we haven't had that much rain so far in March, it's been one of the driest Marches and the sunniest Marches ever so far. And look at this weed. It's actually growing tall and massively. And apart from that, I'm also seeing some very strange looking plants like this one right here. I believe that this is foxglove. I think it has actually grown nicely so far. Not sure how good or bad is it going to be like. I hope it's drought tolerant. That's the only thing I could probably say here. Might have to add more water in that. There's another dandelion here. It's one of these things, I'll just straightforward have a look at what I can plant or what can't I plant. Because I do know that, hey, it's been quite a while I haven't been inspecting my backyard garden. I've also been taking out the old lavender plant just because I think it looked a bit dry and a bit ugly. Okay, so this is somewhat the beginning of what my garden is going to be like. Somehow in that case, hey, it feels absolutely different these days. And it feels so different because obviously as I look around throughout this whole backyard garden, that there used to be the old meadow section. Now it's straightforward, almost like a complete wasteland. Somehow it has totally survived. But to be honest, hey, I feel like, wow, what else can I do throughout the rest of this whole garden? That's the only thing I could probably say here. It's really interesting on just how much time I've somehow spent to do a bit of gardening and stuff. apart from some gardening, I can actually hear some planes outside, but I can't see any airplanes. Oh, I can just see one. There's a plane that's actually flying away. I don't think you can see it, but I can just straightforward somehow hear it. It's been straightforward beyond quite a fairly dry April and a fairly dry March. It's also been relatively sunny. I don't think, well, I'm not sure how warm or hot it will be like so far. And as I'm going across throughout this backyard garden, it seems like not much has been straightforward being done over. I did straightforward transplant some of the Nigella seeds, and I can hear a beautiful wren that's chirping in the backyard. I'm not sure if I can actually be able to see any birds chirping at the back of the ground. That's why it's called the background, but strangely enough, it somehow feels absolutely nice. And actually, I just heard some pigeons going back to their, well, let's just say the little refuge spot, the little dovecotes. Strangely enough, I don't know how much I could really say, but to be honest, for me, boom, straightforward. I can't believe. I wonder what's. Oh, it's best not to go inside, but I'm just sort of curious what's inside this little pigeonhole, little dovecote. Oh, there's one of the pigeons right here, and this here is definitely where the pigeons actually straightforward live. Oh, you think one of them's gonna come out? Yep, looks like one of them's just flown off. Oh, so I think there's going to be another one right here. Come on. I know you're a little bit exhausted. It's quite dark in here, but not supposed to be in this area here. I don't know how to get them free. I think for me, the best thing to do is make a lot of noise. I think that pigeon's stuck inside here. I don't know what to do next. Oh, it looks like it turns out one of the pigeons is free. Crazy, isn't it? Might as well just get out of here and just not think about getting inside of here. So, anyways. Oh, actually, I might as well just show you something. Along the way, apart from going inside to that little pigeonhole, which I should have never gone inside here because it's all dirty with a whole bunch of like bugs and other critters and whatnot. I can also see some Welsh poppy. I can actually see a bit of weed activity going on here, especially that nettle. I feel like I need to de-weed that nettle because I do know it's going to pose a safety risk, a health hazard safety risk. That there used to be the old fern, but it looks like it's dead, so I might as well just think about de-weeding the old ferns and clearing them out again because it looks like the ferns do seem to look like they're not going to come back. So in this case, hey, you know, what I should have done was basically trim down the ferns so that they can grow back again. But unfortunately, we haven't got that coming at all, sadly to say. And there's one more. Thank goodness, one more pigeon's free. In fact, I think all the pigeons are gone. Thank goodness for that. Right. Maybe I shouldn't have never left the video like so, because it seems like that it was a bit of a random video and whatnot. Oh, can you believe that? There's actually more of that stuff. And apart from seeing a whole bunch of other flowers I've seen, look what they planted. There's primroses. Should have never sneaked around people's gardens, but there's the pigeon. Right here I can see a whole bunch of primroses. Strange enough, and wow, look at this. That is a whole bunch of nettle. Probably it's best not to sneak around a lot of people's gardens because, hey, people can get really cranky about that. And I feel like, hey, you know, that would have been a great thing to get rid of all of them, you know, weird, nettly things. I can also start to see some of the other things. I can also see that I can see some bulby, planty things. Amazing, isn't it? And that's it I could really say about this video. So in that case, I might as well just stop here. Apart from being so random, well, probably it's best to leave the pigeons alone because, hey, yeah, it's their spot. So anyways, if you really enjoyed this pretty short and sharp video, and also talked about the updates of my backyard garden, please give this video a good like, subscribe more for that videos like this in the future. And I nearly wasn't going to be making a whole video like this, because, you know, it's almost like I had nothing else but just, you know, just me doing other stuff, other than just doing garden tour rounds and that sort of stuff. As always, thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.